All right, welcome. How's it going? Today in this stream, what we're going to do is we're going to build a brand new application. Well, we're going to start a brand new application. There were a lot of announcements yesterday. Laravel Cloud, Laravel 12, new Laravel Starter Kits. There's a lot of awesome things happening in the PHP community. And as someone who's done a ton of PHP in the past, but I've been a Rails developer for well over a decade now, I wanted to take another look at this, and I actually have a project where we have a website for some online martial arts training that we do, and we need to move that over. We want to build our own website. We're hosting it somewhere else right now, and it's kind of okay, but it's really inflexible, and there are some things that we'd like to be able to do to cater the experience for our customers and for our users. And so we have, it's basically a online video learning platform. And so the goal is to kind of rebuild that in using Laravel, using Livewire. We'll use one of the new starter kits, as you see here. We're going to deploy to Laravel Cloud, right? So you're gonna see what that's all about. I've played around with it a little bit, deployed one application to it. It's really, really cool. Really intuitive, easy to use. Super stoked about V1 of this, and I know the team's already working on all of the new things in the next iteration that they want to bring. They're probably already receiving a ton of feedback, but so far, hats off, kudos. Really, really smooth developer experience, getting up to speed and deploying an app, and then working through iterations and pushing those up and testing those. Really, really cool. Yeah, and let's see, what else do we have here? So let me show you the application real quick. So it's learnmuaythai.com, so it's for online Muay Thai training. And so we have a number of different videos, and we have groups of videos. Basically, you can sign up, so you can choose one of these, right? If we go into this one here, and let's see, we're going to need to make this. Yeah, essentially, this is like the condensed view of it, but you can see what it's about. All the other videos in the series are locked, and you can subscribe to watch it, or you can just purchase it as part of a bundle, and some of them you can purchase one-off, right? So that's essentially what we're going to recreate, is that functionality. So video library, being able to upload the videos. TBD, we're probably just going to use Vimeo for video upload. I know they have a native PHP library that works really well. Seamless, super easy. Yeah. So with that, I guess let's get started. This is definitely going to be a multi-part series. I was previously starting to build out a platform for Rails, but I wanted to kind of take a step back and look at the actual need of what I'm trying to do, and that's just build a website for this thing versus build a whole platform. And so we're just going to zero in and focus on just recreating this kind of video library website. It just happens to be for martial arts. I'm a martial artist and martial arts instructor, as well as I do a lot of videography work for these videos and this training and coaching and all of that. And I think it's really cool to be able to bring those two together. I'm super excited to get back to building something with PHP, which again, I haven't touched in a long time. So a lot of the Laravel stuff, last Laravel app I built, I think was like version 4. So I haven't touched it in a while. We're going to use some AI. We're going to use some Claude, new 3.7, to give us some guidance. And then we're just going to jump in and just build stuff, right? Kick the tires and get going. So that's the plan. Now that we have that out of the way, again, there's going to be multiple streams. And this one, my goal is just to get the new project set up. We're going to set up the data models. We need to import data from Stripe. So currently, fortunately, we own our own Stripe account, right? And so we have our own customers, our own products, our prices and plans, and subscriptions and things like that we want to be able to import from Stripe, so we can display those within our application. And then we need to be able to keep those in sync. And so we're going to try to scaffold out the application, connect Stripe, import our things from Stripe, implement Stripe checkout, and that'll be for subscription-based checkout, so signing up for a recurring subscription plan, whether monthly or annually, or purchasing a one-off product, right? Because those are our two use cases right now. There'll probably be more in the future, more things that we want to add to this and do, but those are the immediate two. And then we need to implement support for Stripe webhooks, right? We need to be able to receive events back from Stripe whenever things occur there, because they happen in a non-deterministic order. And so we need to get the webhooks back so we can update our application. And I'm sure once we get into building out like the video catalog and stuff, there's going to be some really cool use cases for using Livewire. I think Livewire is a really, really interesting implementation. So I do a lot of front-end development, a lot of design system heavy stuff, interaction, React, what have you. And I've gone pretty deep with Hotwire and Rails and Turbo. And while, yes, it is nice, and there are some things that you get with pretty low effort, right? The cost is pretty low to get and use those things. Once you really start banging on it and building something that's pretty complex, it falls over pretty quickly, honestly, and gets a little convoluted unless you're like all in and everything is there. And then, yeah, you can use React for part of it. But I think for the things that it's really good at, which is like those isolated component things, that's something that Livewire is even better at, in my opinion. Now, there are some parts of it I'm not a huge fan of, with like the inline JavaScript and strings and stuff, but like it's so minimal and it's simple and it's isolated to the context of that component right there. And so I'm guessing it tends to work well. And so, yeah, I'm a huge fan of how that's implemented. So we're not using React for this. We don't have anything super crazy that would need that. It's just a video, video player. And maybe there'll be some interactive features there that we can use Livewire for. If we have the need to reach for React, there's always inertia too. And we could grab that, pull that in, and then build a component out in React and render that wherever we needed to render it. But I don't think we're going to need anything like that beginning. So let's jump in. All right. So like I said, we've got this really crazy prompt here. Let me full screen this so we can actually see it. It's this really intense prompt, right? It's going to go through project setup, Stripe integration setup, database models, importing existing data from Stripe, subscription management, one-off purchases, some front-end implementation. I think it messed up the views because this is a lot, right? And we are using Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Webhook setup, and then whatever the final steps are that it has here. And so we're going to kind of go through this, and essentially what it's going to do is we're going to create the project. It doesn't cover that, and it does some weird Tailwind stuff here that we don't need to do because we're also going to be using Tailwind 4, right? That's the new default, which is awesome. Fortunately, it's super easy to upgrade in Rails as well, which is nice. I mean, depending on how you've used Tailwind and if you go against the grain or guides. But yeah, so there's some of this we don't need. Like we don't need this anymore. That's all gone in Tailwind 4. Right, you can now configure everything just in CSS, which is awesome. We're going to set up our environment variable keys. We're going to register a service provider for Stripe. Yep, so we have a singleton. And that way we can just initialize that and have one instance of Stripe. We set up some config here. Okay. Got to register the service provider. And I think this is like the dependency injection in Laravel, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that's, I have to look up service providers again. Again, it's been a while since I've built an app in Laravel, but I want to do something new. And the Laravel community is on fire these days. It's they're doing some great stuff over there. Okay, then we're going to update our user model. We're already going to have a user model. We don't have Laravel Sanctum. I don't think. Are we actually using that API tokens? Is that just a hallucination? I think that's a hallucination. So we're not going to copy and paste any of this, right? We're going to, and yes, I think it is perfectly okay. And I have done it 1,000 times of going through an AI prototyping and just bashing away at prompts and grabbing content and shoving it in and trying to get something to work. For an MVP, that's great. Don't ship that code though, right? actually understand what's going on. Type the pieces out. You need to write the code. You need to understand the code that's in your application to know where to look when things go wrong and how to fix things and like how your application works, right? And I don't think we're quite there where we should be building like production level applications that you plan on building a business around, especially that's your bread and butter, your primary application, just with generated code that it spits out. I think for like the no code, low code, getting started, non-programmer, non-developer, I think there's probably some really cool innovation happening there with AI tools. But for this, we're gonna type this out because we need to learn how this stuff works too and build that muscle memory of programming. I know it's a thing. You still have to do it. I mean, you should, or don't, and then more work for me. All right, yeah, so we're going to create some models. Let's see, did we create the video? So product model. Products. Update our user model. Create prices because they separate out prices from products. Subscription model. Yep. So we're going to keep track of our subscriptions. Let's see here. Subscription model. Okay. Make model video with a migration. Beautiful. I'm going to have product videos and then videos the users purchased. Cool. Keep track of that. There's our video model itself. They're going to have orders, so you can keep track of orders. Okay, I'm liking it so far. What is this? This is going to be our command. So we have an import Stripe data command. Nice. I might name that import. Is it sync? Maybe it's sync, right? Like maybe we change that to sync because I want to be able to run this multiple times and pull in different data. We're going to add the ability eventually, not right now. We'll keep what we have for now. We can always add them in Stripe and then pull them in. But eventually we'll add the ability to add products from within the application. That seems like a thing you'd want to do. And then be able to have that available. I guess we'll need that for our bundles, right? Let me change this. I guess we'll need it for our bundles. Or our collections of videos that you can buy. So we'll need to think about that. Is that what it's doing product videos for? Let's go back here. All right, so we have videos, title, description, video. Yeah, we'll keep it simple for now. Product video, pivot table for bundles. Yeah, I guess that's a product. Got it. Okay. So how do we model that, right? Do we have like a video? Okay, so we have the products. So we'll just call them products then, right? So you just create a product, not a bundle. And that product can be one or more videos. All right, simplify it in that way. Then we have our orders. Okay. We have a command to import our Stripe data. I like that is broken out. Import customers. Okay, so this Stripe, nice, which is just like globally available because of that service provider. That's cool. You can create like progress bars and stuff. Like the command, like building commands in Laravel seems like so cool. How you can build like command line interfaces and stuff. Like they're just, I'm telling you, the Laravel team is absolutely crushing it. You guys are awesome. Yeah, so importing the other data. Okay. Well, we're just gonna kind of work through this, as it were. Let's see. Can we one-side this and not lose all the code? No, I don't know why it does that. So we might have to pull this somewhere else whenever we start actually building, which will be right now. Okay. So again, we're just gonna do Laravel new, and again, the name of our site is Learn Muay Thai. And so we're going to say Laravel new, Learn Muay Thai. And you're going to see that with Laravel 12, you get presented with fewer options. And I love it. It was really confusing, right? As someone who's been away from Laravel for a long time and then came back, and I was just doing this just the other day. And then I heard that I stumbled upon, I forget which YouTube video, if it was Aaron Francis or someone else. And then the Laracon EU keynote by Taylor Otwell, and the date, and I was like, oh wait, that's like day after tomorrow, right? And so I was excited and waiting for the new release. But previously, you went in here and it was, did you want to start with a starter kit? And it's like, no, yes or no. And if you choose Breeze, I think, then it's like Breeze with Livewire, Breeze with Inertia, React, Breeze with Vue, no template. I don't know. It's just like right up front, it felt like decision paralysis of like, which one do I choose? I don't know which one to choose. And I just wanted to do Blade. And so then it was like, oh, do I do Livewire or do I Blade with Livewire? Do I not? And so they've limited it a little bit. And it's like, hey, if you're going to be using React, if React is your go-to for front end stuff, choose the React one. Get you scaffolded out and started with React and everything's set up, ready to go with Inertia too. If Vue's your thing, use that one. If you want to use Blade and you want the new starter kit, you have to pick the Livewire option because the none is just pure Blade, no Livewire, but there's no starter kit, so you don't get the templates and things like that for the auth. So I'm going to use Livewire because I don't really need any advanced, crazy front-end heavy stuff. And if I do, I can always pull Inertia in. I can set up a controller. I can create a React component, and I can render that on a page and use that just like I can anything else, because it seems like the Laravel ecosystem just makes it possible to do what you need to do to get stuff done. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to choose Livewire here. And we're going to use built-in authentication, but you can also use WorkOS if you wanted to delegate that out to WorkOS. That's pretty cool that it's a first-party integration. WorkOS is pretty cool. We're going to just use built-in authentication because that'll be fine for what we're building. Next, default testing framework, we're going to choose Pest, and we're going to let it install. Now, again, I created this a little bit earlier, so it might have an issue with the migrate. No, it looks like. So by default, and this is one thing we'll need to change. By default, the new starter kits use SQLite. So they don't ask you for a database choice. They just create it. Do we want to run npm? Yep, go ahead and run that. They just create a SQLite database. So we'll need to change it over because we're going to use Postgres. So let's go ahead and cd into Learn Muay Thai. And let's go ahead and open this up in NeoVim. And we're going to come down here to our env. And let's see, where are we at here? Yeah, so you're going to see our database connection by default is SQLite. So I'm going to change that real quick. I'm just going to grab another one. No, I think those are all going to be SQLite. So let's see how we need to change this. So we need all that. We need this. Is it QL? Postgres QL. Password, or sorry, user is Postgres. Database is Learn Muay Thai. I think our port is actually different. So if we open up our database, config database.php, And we look down here for our Postgres. Let's see, DB port 5432. Okay, we don't need a password for that. Okay, I think that should be good. Let's do this. Let's close that. Let's open this. Let's do PHP artisan migrate :fresh and Postgres. Oh, is it just Postgres? Is that why? Did we miss that? Oh, is it PSQL? Maybe it's that. Come on, ChatGPT, do your thing. All right, migrate fresh. PSQL not configured. PGSQL. Seriously? Why not? Okay, PGSQL. I guess that's right. I don't know why I thought that was wrong for some reason. Third time's a charm. PHP artisan migrate fresh. Cool, and it's going to drop all the tables, recreate it. Now we have our users table. We're going to redo this anyways because we're going to add some stuff to our users table. But we want to do that just to make sure that we are all set up. And because we're using Laravel Herd, if we come back over here, now we go to learnmuaythai.test. We're going to get the brand new Laravel splash page. And yeah, we are up and running. We can register, create an account, we can log in. We see we have our simple login pages. We're actually going to do a couple of things. Let's change. Let's see. Do we want to change that real quick and go through those? What do we want to do? We need to change those for sure. And I do want to get this deployed so that we have it online from the very beginning on Laravel Cloud and all that configured. Let's go ahead and change that first, right? So let's look at layouts, auth. And right now it's using simple. We're going to change this to split. Save, come back, reload. Now we get a nice little split layout. And if we sign up, I'm actually just going to make this an admin account. And we're going to say admin at learnmuaythai.com. And we're going to log in. And you'll see that we get our nice new dashboard with the Laravel Starter Kit, which is really cool. These starter kits are pretty awesome. I've taken a look at the React one as well. It's React TypeScript. There are definitely some defaults there. And yeah, I think it works really well. And deep integration with ShadCN, which is basically just, copy and paste the component code, import it into your project, and then do whatever you want with it. But really cool. I like the Blade and Livewire for this app at least. I just don't have the need for doing everything in React. I think it does work really well on the front end. But again, for the most part, this is going to be some back-end tooling and a video catalog. We're going to offload most of the Stripe stuff to Stripe. Let Stripe handle what Stripe is best at, and just do the things that we need to do. So let's update a couple of things here, and then let's get this up on Cloud. Okay, so what do we need to change? So right now we just have Laravel Starter Kit. So let's look. I know that I think that's in these. If I could type sidebar. App views, layouts, app, sidebar, blade. Let's get rid of this. Okay. So yeah. Okay, so let's pull that back up there. What do we want to do here? So this is coming from our app logo. It is coming from our app logo. Okay. All right, so let's see, where are these at? App. So there's our app logo. And the name of the business is Muay Thaiology, even though the website's learnmuaythai.com. So it's Muay Thaiology for Muay Thai. And so we're going to update that as so. And that way that'll update. Nice. All right, what else do we need to do? Let's go ahead and I think we need to add some logos. So let me switch to my secret view. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's change one thing here. Okay, so we just added some logos. So we've added some logos back here. So we've got our logo, and then we have a square logo here. So we added those in. Let's see what else. So we have this logo icon. Let's think about this. If we're going to use our logo here, we don't actually want to use. We don't actually want this. Instead, assets going to be images, logos, let's say alt. I don't know why it added those there. That should be there. Da, 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 da. You are missing that. Let's see. Okay, so that's going to load. Let's get rid of the app logo. And now we're not going to want this text either. See how we're showing up in this like square. Let's put this here. So I think that's just the square. No, hold on. Oh yeah, that is just the square. Okay, so let's get rid of that. We'll do this like height of 10 and change this song immediately. Okay, there we go. So we'll get our logo in there. Now you see how we get the double text. So what we'll do is we'll take this span. We don't need any of these styles because we're not going to display it. So we'll clear them out and we'll say SR only. And that way we maintain it for accessibility and we have it there for screen readers. Cool. So now we have our logo that looks good on the light background. But one of the things you'll notice is we have the settings we can go here and we can switch to dark mode. And now you'll see our logo doesn't look so good. So how do we fix that? Well, it's actually really easy to do because we have a logo for that. So we can just copy this. We can say this one's dark. And what we'll do is for our classes down here. So we'll say that this one's block and then dark, it's hidden. And for this one, we'll say it's hidden and dark, it's block. And now when we reload and we switch between these, you'll see that our logo updates accordingly. Pretty cool, huh? So nice and simple. We get a little branding in there. Another thing is, I think the settings are fine right here because they are kind of like user settings and also your application preferences. So I think that's fine. We have our empty dashboard. And then if we log out and we come back to our home screen, I think we just want to remove this and update this. So how can we do that? Is that still in our welcome? Whoops. Let's see, welcome.blade. I'm guessing it is. Which is interesting. So it's not actually using a layout. So this could pose a little more challenging. Let's see. We want like this header. We want to keep this header. I think we want to keep this header. I think we want to keep the background. That could be fine. Main could be interesting. Let's get rid of everything else. Okay. All right. So in here, honestly, I think we just want to render app logo. I don't know what all this is. We're just going to do a height of 10. Yeah. All right, justify center. No. Just changing that. Why is it not? Interesting. So the outer container is doing something to it. Let's see. Let's see what we have. Because this is in a grid. Let me render out the logos. Do logos not have a container? Let's see. So app logo. Oh, it does. I don't know why it doesn't need to be a grid. Text size doesn't matter. Flex 1 doesn't matter. Text left is the default. That I think that's the only thing that matters. Do we even need that? Like, is that a thing? That's not a thing that's needed. Okay. That could be multiple times. Okay, so let's leave that. Let's see what else. What else? Yeah, let's add that for our test. Have icon not found. I don't know why that would be. Should be found. Let's change this to dark mode. Okay. I think that looks good to deploy. Yeah, we've got our settings. Cool. We can go to light mode. That all looks good. And okay, so if we log out, what is up with this? We just want to center this in the middle of the screen. Flex. Just like that. But I don't want the header. Why did that affect the header? Interesting. So we need to update those pages, which are currently using the app logo icon. Which we don't really have. Like, we have an icon, but it's like, it's not really for that. Okay, so let's go to layout, off, split, right? Yeah, that's gonna be this here. So what do we want here? So we just want this to be app logo. We want our height to be 10 still. None of that matters. This should be multi-tyology. We're also going to span class this and SR only. Okay. And we need to remove this width here. And let's come back here, reload, go to register. You see our logo up here in the top left. Go to login, see it there. Forgot password, you see it there. Login, cool. Okay. Now, the hardest thing in web development, we just need to center this damn div. And there's something that's screwing with it here. So our header is there. That is correct. Is it the grow? No, because we need to grow. I think we got a double wrap. Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. So we come back to our welcome. So we have our logo here. Put that back. I think we have to double wrap in order, yeah, to maintain the flow there for Flexbox. Okay, so that's it. We'll leave that there. And let's see, let's also just do flex call here, and then we can add a I think we're gonna want that much larger, and let's do like, I don't know, 4XL, dark, text white. Whoops. Okay. Let's see, where are we getting our colors? Oh, that's right. So we have a CSS issue here that we're going to need to fix. And the issue is that we don't have a public layout. So you notice we're not picking up any of the Tailwind styling here. And that is because if we scroll up here, you'll notice that we're just pulling in kind of some import here, inline. This is not actually what we want. Let's see what we actually want. What we want is we want to create a new layout. And let's see, we don't want to copy that. App sidebar. We have app header. So we can use app header. I think that's fine. Okay, so let's grab app blade. We're going to copy this. We're going to come back here. And we're going to add a new layout. And instead of app blade, we're going to use public. All right, we'll call it public. So we'll put this in here. We're going to choose header for this one. Okay. And then that's for our public layout. Now, if we look at our dashboard just uses this kind of syntax, right? So we're going to come back to our welcome. And basically want to get rid of all of this. And then we're going to close this tag out right after. So right here, oops, right there. Reformat, rebalance that. And let's come back over and reload. And it's going to break. Awesome. Okay. So let's see, sidebar. Why did it break in sidebar? We didn't change sidebar. Oh, we broke something here. Okay, if has route login, end, otherwise header. Yeah, so header. Right. So we have our header there. Then we have a div. If we have login, we're adding another div. And if we close our tags correctly, and now reformat, that should be up there. Oh, is it just because it's trying to add the header? Interesting. Okay, so do we not need any of that? This is also public, right? Public. Why do I care about any of that? Really, all I'm trying to do is this. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Is there another component that I need? I don't see anything else that I would be missing here. Oh, app header. Okay, yeah, so it's using app header. Okay. And then dashboard is using that. Why doesn't that work? What am I doing wrong? Let's try to run npm run dev. Reload. Welcome Blade. We don't have any PHP on this page. Forget to close the double quote. Can I not find the layout? Is there something I need to do to include the same error though? Right, and then it just loads. Okay. Yep. Oh, nope. Nope. Okay. So there it can't get something because we're not logged in. Okay, so public. That's then going to load this layout, which is going to load this layout, but we can't actually use that because I'm guessing that that also has things in it that it needs. Do we use, we don't use auth. So what am I missing here? So I have app sidebar there. I would think we would want that here, right? Could we do like, even for these, could we, no, because we want, we want our header, right? And then it fails member function initials on null. So it doesn't have like a guest view. All right, so let's see our header view, which is, let's go ahead and open that in the new Tmux window. All right. So we basically need to copy this view. Or modify this to work. It's interesting that it doesn't work unless you're signed in and you don't have like a public view where you can see this. So let's see. So it's this here. User initials. And then user initials here. And just gonna put guest everywhere. Oh, well, I guess we're editing this one, right? So we don't want to do that. Let's copy this. And let's add a new one here. So app. Guest blade. And then if we come back here, undo all of that in case we want to use that one. Okay, so we're gonna have guest, and then in here we're gonna load the guest layout, a little indirection there. That's a little weird. Okay. So we don't have any reference to user. So let's come back, reload. Undefined constant guest. Okay. So which one of these? That's a string. Can we not do a... Doesn't like that. but it's also just a string, right? What if we don't pass anything? Can't not pass anything. What if we get rid of it? Okay, then we load. We get a dashboard link we shouldn't have. Get a drop down menu, settings menu we shouldn't have. Got it. So that's why they don't implement it, because you don't really need it. Although it would be nice to have this. Although I wonder if we get that Flux UI header. Here, we get the code for it here. So I bet we could just grab this and make one. Right? I mean, what is this? I don't know. I'm not sure how we want the front end yet, so, but we will need some kind of layout for it. So here's what we'll do. Just to keep this simple, we don't need a sidebar toggle. We do need our logo. I think we'll get that on the page. Let's see if we keep what we keep in our header. We don't need a nav bar. We don't need a menu. We don't need a drop down. Keep that. We don't need any of those things. I mean, we probably want a mobile menu. I don't know what we keep in it. Let's come back here. All right, so we have our logo up here, so we don't need it here. If we go into mobile and we bring this down, it's going to squish our logo at some point. So I want to prevent that. And we're going to get a mobile menu there, which could be helpful. So we'll probably leave that, remove the dashboard link, remove the other links. Drop the logo. All right, so let's see here. So these nav list items, we don't need those. We'll just say that this is our homepage route. Let's look at our web.php, and you see that we have home. Okay, so we should be able to update that with home. And if route is home, so we click that, we can get there. And now if we go back to our welcome view, we can greatly simplify this. And what if we just had that? And that, got rid of that, don't need any of that, reformatted that. There we go. Let's just do this here. Okay, we'll kind of mute that down a little bit. We've got a mobile menu. We don't have any way for you to sign up, but that's fine. We don't want you to be able to sign up for right now. And I need to plug in a keyboard. All right, so no need for sign up links currently. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. Let's see how we're doing on time here. About an hour. Okay. All right. I think that is enough of some default branding. Again, I don't know what we're going to do broadly here. I might even go as far as to come into this guest layout and say for our dark background, like, let's just do 9 and keep it. Yeah. And then even for our header, let's see here. We've got our sidebar toggle, but let's see, header container. Can I just text center it? No. If I do flex, justify a center. Let me get this cable out of my way. Sorry. No. Okay. Let's see. So flex header there, the sidebar toggle. I think I would change it there. But you know, we're gonna leave it like that. All right, so let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go and quit out of there. We need to initialize this as a repo. I need to figure out how to do this. I think that's it. So let's go over here. Let's make sure that we have a new repository. Let's go ahead and create one here. It's going to be a private repo. And say, yeah, get remote. I think it's that one. Add origin. And then I think it should be fine. Right, it's just the adding. Git push -u origin main. Yeah, so that's fine. Oh, well, we need to actually commit. So keep getting these. I don't know why these aren't excluded already. Okay. Now, and we can push that up. And now if we come back here, we'll go ahead and reload. We don't have a readme yet, but we'll take care of that later. Now if we come back to Laravel Cloud, let's deploy this thing. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll click create new application. We already have our Git association. We're going to select our repository. Application name is going to be Learn Muay Thai. We're going to put it in US East. And let's click create new application. All right. And with that, we know we need a couple of things, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to add a database. So we're going to use Postgres. Yep, that's fine. We'll create a database cluster for that. Now we've got a database configured. We don't need caching. We'll go ahead and hit save. Database still being provisioned. Totally fine. Go ahead and save those changes. We'll wait for that. And yeah, we don't need to change anything else there. That's fine. And we shouldn't need to configure out anything else here. It's like our domain is still pending. Those things are pending. That's totally fine. Cloud domain. All right. So we have our application pushed up to Git. Let's go ahead and run our first deploy. So we're going to click deploy. And we'll come in here and we'll check out the logs as we're deploying. And you'll notice that the experience it's really, really nice, actually. I've used Heroku for well over 10 years and many other hosting platforms before that, ran my own servers. Haven't done a lot with like Kubernetes and Docker. Those tools just weren't that popular back when I was managing servers. Yeah, the infrastructure they've built here is really solid. And the UX for coming in and managing this and it just being no hassle is really cool. There we go. We're done. We're deployed. What did that take? Build logs. Yeah, under a minute. 42 seconds. Amazing. Let's click visit and you're going to get our link there and you'll see that we're online. Cool. Please don't go and register and create a bunch of accounts and make me have to disable registration. Yeah, that's the cloud URL. I don't know if we can we roll that URL? Can I? I wonder if, oh, I can edit that. Okay, so I might do that. It'll be even easier. And then one thing that we'll probably want to do for now is, let's see, how could we do this? How could we, let's see, should be able to do this here. So that's going to load in the auth. The settings are there. This one requires a middleware as well, but without being verified, which is interesting. Like these ones don't require verification, but the dashboard does. The assumption is you can only get to these from the dashboard, but I feel like those should be the same. So it's really only this view. But then we have Volt routes here for these. And we don't have Interesting. We don't have the other auth routes themselves, right? Those are right here. So what could we do? We could just take this and do that. Right. We'll say something like if how do you check the environment? env I don't know how to do this in Laravel. Let's see. All right, so we can disable registration unless you're local. So let's go ahead. We now have learnmuaythai.laravelcloud.com. I'm going to go ahead and register. I don't think this is going to require any confirmation, so that should be fine. Let's do this. Let's actually use a strong password. Hit create. We're going to add that. Not there. Good. Now we're in. We have an account. Let's go ahead. Push that up. I'm at the Laravel Cloud. We'll go to deployments, and you'll see that it just kicked off a new deploy. So that's going to go up. We'll lock down registration, so you can't create new accounts. Just in case anyone decides to go and create a bunch of fake accounts and run up my Postgres bill. It would take a lot of accounts to do it, but still, we'll just disable that for now. We'll have all the accounts we need, and as we need to, we can go in and register for a new account. So now we'll come here, we'll go ahead and log out, reload. If we come here and go /register, you'll see we just get a 404, which is fine. It's not giving me the login though. Interesting that the login gives a 400 or 500. Let's see. Oh, because it's there and the route doesn't exist. Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. So we still need the route. So that's not gonna work. Can we roll back a deploy? Let's see. Deploy. So we can redeploy it. But I don't see the ability to roll back a deploy. Deployments. Interesting. Okay. I mean, which is fine. We don't have any users right now on this because we're just building. So maybe we'll leave that there. So let's do this. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's revert that. Push that up. That's going to kick off another deploy. We'll push that one back out there. Bring that back and that should be fine. Don't need that. There's our local. Let's exit dev tools there. Come back to Laravel Cloud. Check out that deployment. Good. And we're done. Reload, we're back up. Let's go ahead and log in. And we're in our dashboard. We're looking good. Cool. And I think that's probably a pretty good point here to jump into a few of the other things. Yeah, we'll probably stop here and then we'll pick back up. I know we didn't really get into any of the setup here. I think we'll do another one where we just kind of dig deep into these kinds of things, or I might do some of this off camera and then we'll sync back up. Let's see what else we have. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop talking and we're just gonna write some code and turn the music up a little bit.
thirsting for your touch and the way you move. You hypnotize me with your lips. You've got me losing control, waiting on you to make your move. It's all on you, baby, to make your move. It's all on you, baby.
Okay, let's see what we gotta do here. I'm gonna move this over here. So I can actually see that a bit better. And switch back over here. And we'll go back to mobile. So we're deployed, we're live on the internet, deployed with Laravel Cloud, which is amazing. Go check it out now. If you haven't checked it out, you need to. Even if you don't use Laravel or PHP, I think it's really interesting what's going on in the Laravel community, and highly recommend you check it out. Okay, so let's kick the tires on this. Now that we have kind of a working foundation, let's go ahead and create a feature branch here. We're going to say add Stripe foundation. Works for me. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to create a service provider. I'm pretty sure, is there a command, an artisan command for this? PHP artisan make -- help grep provider. I see make provider, create a service provider class. Okay. PHP artisan make provider. And we're going to call this Stripe service provider. And create app provider, Stripe service provider. Okay. So we have a register and a boot function. Well, before we write our service provider, sorry, skipping ahead. Let's go ahead and make sure that we install Stripe. So we're going to do composer require stripe/stripe-php, pull in the official Stripe PHP library. Okay. Now that we have that, what else do we need to do? We need to update our env. So let's open up our env here, and we'll just come to the bottom since these are in no specific order. And we're going to paste in a couple sample envs, and then we'll do this in our super secret mode. So we need our Stripe key. I'm going to say Stripe public key, Stripe secret key, and Stripe webhook secret. I think there was another one that we ended up adding at some point, which was like webhook tolerance. We'll have to come back and add that later, but I'm going to go ahead and fill these in off screen. So give me just a second here. And I'm also going to add another one for Stripe API version. We'll keep that one in there. And let's see. Looks like I need to create a webhook. Test with a local listener. Okay, so we might not need that secret for now. We'll leave that in. There's a placeholder. So you have a webhook signing secret. We don't really need that locally because we're going to be using the Stripe CLI locally to connect and do things, which we'll get into that whenever it's time. So I think that is good enough to get started. Close that. Okay, so now that we have our environment variables configured, now we're going to add this service provider. So the service provider is going to return a singleton, so we only have a single instance of the Stripe API client to interact with. Okay, so we're going to say this app singleton. We're going to name it Stripe and pass a function. And here we're going to say Stripe set API key config services Stripe dot secret. Okay, and then we're going to return a new Stripe client, and we need to pull in Stripe. We could also just shorten this and pull in the Stripe client. Right, and just clean that up. And let's see, what else do we want to do here? So we're setting it, then we're returning the client. What else? What else? That's in register. Nothing in boot. Okay, so we need to configure our services now. Okay, so I think this is all we need. We're just going to create a new instance. And then this should allow us to do, so we can say register the Stripe service. Right, so then we can just say, essentially, we'll be able to do this Stripe, and then basically call things off of that, which will be nice. Okay, so that's all we do there. So we need to configure our services. So we'll do config services, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to add Stripe. And then for Stripe, let's see, what do we have? We are going to have our key. That's going to be our env Stripe public key. We're going to have our secret, env Stripe secret key. We are going to have, so we have we could do webhook. And then we also want a tolerance. So we can have like some back off there. We don't need these commas. Oh, interesting. Okay, so webhook, we're actually going to put this in here, and this is going to be secret, and then tolerance, and then another one of these. Okay, so webhook, secret, tolerance. Got it. Got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Just rolling with it. Okay, yeah, so this is the one that we need to add to our env real quick. Mhm. Okay. All right, so we should be good to go there. All right, so now we have that set up. What's the next thing we need to do for a service provider? Next thing we need to do is we need to register the service provider in config app. Is there like the providers? I mean, are these all providers? Name. I don't see a service providers array. Bootstrap providers. Yeah, it looks like it was already added. So it gets automatically added when you generate it. Sweet. So we don't need to do that. So I think that's it for Stripe to work. We should do PHP Artisan Tinker. And let's see. Use Stripe. Let me switch for a second, just in case this outputs. It does not. Okay, so now oh wait, stripe equals new. Okay, so now stripe So what would be the API? So let's say Stripe PHP API. Stripe customers, right? Stripe customers all. Yeah, it pulls back an example customer. So if we do Stripe products all, you're going to see back some sample plans that we get. Yep. Cool. So essentially that'll be our interface, is Stripe function, or whatever that type, that thing is, that entity, and then we can interact using the common API that they have, which is like all and delete and retrieve and yeah. So cool. So we are connected to Stripe. We are pulling back these from our Stripe dashboard, which we can see here. If we come back to our product catalog and close Workbench, you can see that we have these 4 plans in our test mode account that we're going to pull back. And yeah, we're loading those in the terminal. So that looks good. All right, what else? What else do we need to do now? Let's go ahead and commit that, because
you know when the calling's calling.
And Stripe service provider. So let's check this out. So I believe there's a feature here where you can switch and create a new environment. So we can spin up a new environment here based on this Stripe Foundation branch that we're building and test on there and only merge it back in whenever. Right, so let's go ahead and just create this. So we're going to test with this. We know we need a database, so we'll just connect that one. That's fine. I think that just connects the existing one. And we're going to save those changes.
You know when the calling's calling.
And we just pushed up our changes, so we'll let that provision. We'll go ahead and hit deploy. And let's go ahead and run a deploy to this feature branch. And we're gonna run off of this feature branch as we're building out this basic Stripe flow and integration. This isn't gonna have all the styling and theming and all the things that we need, but it's gonna get us a basic flow of being able to pull our data back down from Stripe, import it as we need to, generate the things, create videos, have them on there, go through Stripe checkout, purchase one of them, subscribe for a membership, that basic functionality, and then we'll go through and we'll add the polish and we'll add the other things to fine tune it. And we'll do a separate stream where we set up Vimeo and go through the Vimeo API, Vimeo gem, and kind of build that out. So you can see it's pretty straightforward. I'm very interested to look and see how to do the file uploads with Livewire, because ideally we have courses or collections of videos. I want to be able to drag and drop, 10 videos, 15 videos, 20 videos, and have it asynchronously upload each one of those in the background, but give us an update of the upload progress, and kind of queue those up so we can do kind of bulk uploading. At least from my perspective, pull it all up at once, have it there, and start letting it upload. Maybe you got to stay on the screen. That's totally fine. Yeah, and we're up. So let's go ahead and visit. Yeah, nice. And it gives it our branch name. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. So let's see if we can log in. We're going to choose that same admin. Yeah, and so we're sharing the database, which is like actually super clutch. I think we can get, oh yeah, that's how we got to the repo last time. Livewire Starter Kit. There it is. Nice. So I can get all the code to this. And look at all, I mean, really what I want to see, which we have all of these, right? But like being able to break these down. Thing is, it uses all the Flux components. So you can't actually see the styles. It's just like it uses Flux. Just use Flux and you're good, which I like Flux. I want to check it out more. one-time free updates forever. I could get behind that. I'm down with that. $300, like, you know, there's some really awesome things here that are just built in. I'm not sure why you use this. Looks like Tricks. Is this Tricks? Which editor is this? I hope it's not Tricks. I wish this were more of a bring your own editor thing. Or if there's anything specific about this, or if it's just the convenience of large external dependencies. The editor's JavaScript is not included in the core Flux. It can be loaded on the fly. Yeah, I mean, I think you would just implement your own editor. I don't know why you would use this. I mean, maybe it could be good for simple stuff. You just keep it real simple. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't know that I would use that. Again, that's the Pro version, $299. That's actually not bad. That is not bad. I thought it was going to be more. It's really not bad. Decent number of components. What are we talking calendar? Are we talking like we got some flexibility calendar? Are we talking like simple? I mean, seemed like a lot of the same calendar there. Interesting. List. It just means select. Okay. Cool. Charts seem interesting. Like, just really simple. But like, can make some stuff that looks pretty cool pretty easily. Which I like. I'm a fan of. Do you actually have tables? You do, right? You did like this whole video on some table view thing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of it. A lot of it that I might not use. So it's basically just like all the form components, right? Just making that really easy and just, yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Okay, so we're up, we're deployed, we have a branch, we have our basic Stripe stuff. We don't have anything configured in the cloud. We're not going to do that yet. We're still in kind of our testing phase of this. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We've got that configured. I mean, the next thing is really going through and building out all of our models. We'll probably hold off on that. I mean, let's see. We want to do one of these. We don't need API tokens. I don't know why it's referencing API tokens. We need to we need to like modify some stuff for our user before we can start like importing products and stuff. that being said, it is getting kind of late, so I think I'm going to cut it off there. We've got our basic Stripe set up, ready to go. In the next one, we'll work through building out some more of the models and the migrations, and we'll write an artisan command to import our data from Stripe, and we'll just kind of keep moving along through building this out. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super stoked on the new release of the framework. The new starter kits are awesome. Excellent work, everyone. And especially Laravel Cloud, which is making it so easy to spin up a new app and launch it in under a minute. So I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got something out of it. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to keep building this thing out. We're going to go from now to launch in the next couple of weeks. So we are going to be pretty aggressive in building this thing out and getting it live. So stay tuned. As always, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with the stream as we go through and build this out. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.